a bit of an update on Taskin. And the second question is, obviously it was a very thrilling win on that day. And how has the team taken this win, moving into tomorrow? It's obviously another bigger sort of achievement waiting, winning the league.
Good afternoon. Apologies for making you wait. It's been the net. Firstly, Taskin's had an injection about 3 or 4 days ago. And he's done a bit of gym yesterday, a little bit of a bowl today, 5 or 6 overs. I'm not sure if I want to risk playing him yet. I think there's still a lot of cricket to be played. There's 2 test matches, and it's also a great opportunity to keep developing the other fast bowlers. So I don't think I want to risk playing him yet, but he's on his way to recovery. And then the second question regarding the win. Look, the guys were ecstatic, very happy. And rightfully so, because it was a fantastic win for us. But come today, it's done. We've had a good long chat, and we've got to take the positives and the learnings from the last game, and we've got to try and improve in every department going into tomorrow's game, because we know it's going to be another tough one. But everybody very happy, ecstatic, proud of the team's performance, but it's now done, and we've got to focus on tomorrow's game.
David?
2 questions. Firstly, obviously it was such a dramatic game the other night. Can you personally remember being involved in such a dramatic game previously? And then secondly, you could say that last wicket partnership kind of papered over the cracks a little bit of the batting that went before it. And obviously the batting has been a bit of a concern for a little while now. So what's your sort of take on that?
Yeah, look, I think we've been involved in some amazing games. I mean, as a coach, I've been in some amazing games with Bangladesh. We've had some narrow wins, some narrow losses, but that was as close as they come, I suppose. And you're right, it shouldn't have been that tight. When we needed 55, I think, with 4 wickets down, we're in a pretty good position. So, yep, by far not the perfect performance, and there's a lot of work still to be done. But to be able to win from that situation says a lot about the team's character, and we've got to see the positive from it and not dwell too much on the things that weren't that good, and that's the way I see it going forward.
Zubair?
Yes, sir. Look, I think this conference in this format, we know our record in Bangladesh is very good, and there's a sense of excitement that we're playing against India, who are one of the big teams in the world, and it's a great opportunity to test ourselves against one of the best teams in the world. But there's also a sense of, look, we know India are going to come back strong. We've got to play better cricket than we played in the first game, particularly with the bat, because I don't think we can get away with it again. So there's definitely a sense of determination to make sure we put in a better performance, particularly with the bat tomorrow.
So what on Mahmudullah, you saw him work with him, what his boundary hitting?
No, not quite his boundary hitting, just a little bit of his intensity. I think his intensity maybe dropped a little bit and was looking more to survive than looking to score. And that's why he probably missed that half volley on leg stump. If you're looking to score, he's probably hitting that for 2 or for 4. So just making sure that he gets into the routine and the rhythm of being a little bit more positive than looking to survive. Not so much boundary hitting, but just hitting the gaps a bit more. Sorry, I know you didn't finish your question there. Sorry.
Sami?
Well, coach, I'm coming to that point you were saying regarding Mahmudullah. Like Mahmudullah and Mushfiqur, they're already dropped from the T20 side of Bangladesh team, and especially Mahmudullah's ODI performance is also not up to the mark over the last few matches. Do you think that they are on the declining curve of their career and should start looking for replacements of these 2 experienced players for the coming days?
So firstly, I'm going to defend my players. Mushfiqur wasn't dropped, he retired from T20 cricket. That's the first point. And then the second point is, I think the last 2 games in Zimbabwe, which was a game before these last 2, I think Mahmudullah got 80, 89 and 40. 80 and 40 or 39 or something like that. So I'm very reluctant to say that. All players have times in their careers where they're searching for runs, but it was one day international ago that he got 89. So I've got no concerns with them at the moment. We know that all players, when they get to the end, older parts of their careers, they're going to go through those phases. But I still have a lot of faith in his ability and a lot of faith in his batting.
I know it's a team game and you don't want to single out passes, but can you just give some shed some lights on why about the process why Shanto was picked and yes Rabi wasn't picked or was ignored. Shanto obviously we know what he can do, but they are cutting everything after 40 ODIs. So what's the process?
Yeah, look, for me, I like a left-hand, right-hand opening combination. Second point is he seems to be finding his way in white ball cricket. He got 250s in the T20 World Cup. And look, I can tell you a lot of great players, their first 20, 25 one-day internationals or 20 test matches. I think of Jacques Callis, his first 12 test matches. I think he averaged 12 in test match cricket. Became one of the best players of all time. So, look, Shanto needs to perform more consistently. We know that. He's also been on some tricky surfaces. The West Indies was really tough to bat on. He played some good innings there. So, look, you've got to be patient with some players. 12 one-day internationals is not that many games. He's playing against high-quality teams on tough conditions. So you've got to be patient and allow those players to find their form at some stage. Yeah, look, Rabs hasn't played a one-day international now since South Africa because he got injured. And I think that the new ball is so important in Mirpur, being able to negotiate the new ball. I sort of like keeping Sakib away from the first 3 or 4 overs against the new ball. So once the ball gets a little bit older, I find Sakib to be an unbelievable player. So I want to try and keep him a little bit away from the new ball.
Russell, do you think Bangladesh is lacking some firepower towards the end or towards the middle order? If so, then can Rabi be a solution to that?
Absolutely. Like I said, we've got, I think, maybe 12 one-day internationals before the World Cup. And it's a great opportunity to look at different combinations and give guys an opportunity to play, because when we get to the World Cup, we want to see who can do those particular roles. Rabi did it in South Africa. He got one good score, he got 50 and played fantastically well. And then came in some difficult situations, the T20, with only a couple of overs left. So it's a very difficult situation. Our fifth for me is our guy at the back end there. And I'm still backing Mahmudullah's ability and his experience to get us out of tricky situations. So a lot of players got to be patient for their opportunities, and when opportunities come, they got to make sure they take them.
Okay, last 3 questions. Kush.
Losing 5 wickets in just 8 runs. I'm concerned about middle order a little bit. And my second question is, how important the toss will be?
I hope we lose a toss, because you're never quite sure what to do here, to be honest. There's value in batting first. You can see the ball nipped around at night. I think the last 70 or the last 20 games here, if a team gets 200, I think they've won 17 of the last 20 games. So you're never quite sure how much is enough. So sometimes you try and score too many and you get bowled out early. So I don't know if the toss is that important. And then regarding the middle order, look, I think we've got really good experience there with Sakib, Mushfiqur, Riyad, and a dynamic player in our fifth. So I've got no concerns with our middle order at this particular stage. There's still games to go before the World Cup. And I'd rather be having problems with it now than when we get to the World Cup in a few months' time.
Coach Little is captaining the side for the first time. There are lots of talk about his leadership and everything. How do you see him captaining the side for the first time, and how is his leadership in the game?
I think he did a fantastic job in the first game. Look, I thought his tactical changes were good. He bounced ideas of some of the players around the team that he values the opinions of, and I thought he did a really good job. Look, every captain's got different styles. Litton's a quiet guy. Lee doesn't say much, leads through performance and very good thinker on the game. So it's good to spread the leadership and have different sorts of opinions and different styles of leadership. I think that'll only serve Bangladesh cricket well.
So, talking about Mehdi and Viraj, later on it's been a year where he's been involved in a lot of these crunch moments. How valuable is he as a character in the dressing room? Tamim told us that there's an unbelievable sense of confidence in the middle. In South Africa, he won us a game towards the end when he took those 4 wickets, or against Afghanistan as well, the batting.
No, he's like a quiet hero in this team type of thing. He's so consistent in all formats. Got 100 in test matches. He's willing to bat anywhere. Deals with pressure really well. I know at one stage he was number 2 or number 3 in 50 over cricket with the ball. I'm not sure where he is now, but you can always rely on him. If he goes for a few runs, you know you can bring him back in pressure situations because he really thrives in those situations. And I mean, it was a special innings the other day, the way he held the game together, and he was clear and calm in his thinking at the back end. And look, it's not the first time he's done it. We were 40 for 6 against Afghanistan, and he played superbly. And just really pleased with him because he's a fantastic character in the team and a really good bloke to work with.
Is he valued enough to be one of those teams?
I value him massively. How the public see him and the media see him, I don't know, but as the coach, he's one of the first names on my sheet.
Atif?
Coach, can you tell us something about Saki's bowling? He was not performing according to his name. So the last match he picked 5 wickets. Can you tell us what about the bowling?
Yeah, look, I know he's been struggling a little bit with his shoulder and maybe not trying to spin the ball as much as he has in the past because he's playing so many T20s where he's just trying to bowl straight at the stumps. And I thought his change of pace and his angles and his shape in the ball was fantastic in the last game. And I mean, behind Tendulkar, he's got the second most man of the matches, so you always know he's going to put in a performance at some stage. That's a given, whether it's with the bat or with the ball. So really pleased, and he'll take a lot of confidence from that last particular bowling effort.
Last question.
Just going back to Miraj and his performance, which was obviously fantastic the other day. Shakib is obviously, the superstar of the team, and whenever he does choose to kind of hang up his boots, it can be a huge boost to feel. But is there a sense that perhaps Miraj could be groomed into that sort of role?
If he bowls left arm, yes. Look, end of the day, I mean, Sakib's been unbelievable. And I coached South Africa for a long time, and when Jacques Callis retired, I think it's now 8 years ago, and they're still trying to find that sort of replacement. You're not sure, do you play 7 batsmen or 6 batsmen? Do you play an extra bowler? Do you play an extra batter? So those sorts of cricketers are very hard to replace, because whether Shakib's bowling badly, he'll get runs. If he's batting badly, he'll perform with the ball. So they're very difficult to replace, and they're very few and far in between, and that's why they're special cricketers. We've got to keep him for as long as we can and make sure he's fresh and make sure he's driven enough to play for Bangladesh for as long as we possibly can until we find somebody that could possibly do that. Is Miraj the guy? Possibly. He's definitely got the game to bat in the top 5, top 6. And be a really consistent performer with the ball. So by all means, he's a guy that can pick up that mantle if we keep providing opportunities to play all formats.
So how confident are you to win this match and this series?
Look, in this format, I think our team's always confident. We know not going to be easy. We know India are a quality side and they're going to come back strong. They have learned from the last game. But I'd rather be going into tomorrow's game 1-0 up than 1-0 down. So we know it's going to be hard fought, and we're going to have to play a lot better than we did in the first game. But pretty confident that we can compete once again, and if we hold our nerve at crucial stages, we can cross the line definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you. I coached South Africa for a long time, and when Jacques Callis retired, I think it's now 8 years ago, and they're still trying to find that sort of replacement. You're not sure, do you play 7 batsmen or 6 batsmen? Do you play an extra bowler? Do you play an extra batter? So those sorts of cricketers are very hard to replace, because whether Shakib's bowling badly, he'll get runs. If he's batting badly, he'll perform with the ball. So they're very difficult to replace, and they're very few and far in between, and that's why they're special cricketers. We've got to keep him for as long as we can and make sure he's fresh and make sure he's driven enough to play for Bangladesh for as long as we possibly can until we find somebody that could possibly do that. Is Miraj the guy? Possibly. He's definitely got the game to bat in the top 5, top 6, and be a really consistent performer with the ball. So by all means, he's a guy that can pick up that mantle if we keep providing opportunities to play all formats.
So how confident are you to win this match and this series?
Look, in this format, I think our team's always confident. We know not going to be easy. We know India are a quality side and they're going to come back strong. They have learned from the last game. But I'd rather be going into tomorrow's game 1-0 up than 1-0 down. So we know it's going to be hard fought, and we're going to have to play a lot better than we did in the first game. But pretty confident that we can compete once again, and if we hold our nerve at crucial stages, we can cross the line definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you.